Welcome back to News Around, the definitive sanctuary for those who seek not merely the headlines of the entertainment world, but the profound, beating heart beneath the surface. Tonight, we find ourselves standing on the precipice of a revelation that feels less like a gossip update and more like a historical turning point in the annals of Turkish celebrity culture. The industry, usually a cacophony of fleeting rumors and ephemeral scandals, has suddenly fallen into a hushed, reverent silence. The cause of this atmospheric shift? Two names that have become synonymous with a rare, almost mythical kind of magnetism: Barış Baktaş and Yağmur Yüksel. We are not discussing a trivial vacation snapshot or a standard casting leak here. The whispers circulating through the most exclusive corridors of Istanbul suggest that something far more monumental is taking shape. A decision of such magnitude that it threatens to redraw the very coordinates of their lives and, by extension, alter the landscape of the industry itself. What transpired in the quiet moments away from the flashing strobes? What choice, guarded with the ferocity of a state secret, is poised to launch their world into an entirely new orbit? Before we descend into this labyrinth of context, credible intelligence, and palpable suspense, I must ask you to ground yourself within our community. If you value journalism that treats the arts with the literary respect they deserve, please subscribe to News Around and activate the notification bell. For those who wish to be the true patrons of this deep dive storytelling, we invite you to explore the join button. By becoming a premium member, you ensure that we can continue to unravel these complex narratives with the depth you love. Don't forget to like this video and prepare to share your theories in the comments. We are embarking on this journey together. The information regarding Barış and Yağmur did not explode with the chaotic bang of a scandal. Rather, it flickered into existence like a flame catching in the wind, racing along the currents of social media with a speed fueled by enigma. It was carried by breathless comments, cryptic captions, and the relentless, unyielding curiosity that surrounds a couple who mastered the art of privacy long ago. In an era where oversharing is the currency of fame, Barış and Yağmur have treated their inner life as a fortress. They have honored the boundaries of intimacy, treating their bond as something sacred to be protected from the loud, grinding machinery of publicity. It is precisely this fiercely guarded privacy that makes the current anomaly feel like a distress flare in the dead of night. When silence is the standard, sound becomes significant. The whispers, though quiet, are remarkably consistent. A pivot is underway. We are witnessing a departure from the comfortable, paved path of their current success, and the sheer scale of the rumors suggests they are staring down a brand new horizon. To understand the stakes, one must first understand the players. On one side of this equation stands Barış Baktaş, a performer whose appeal is not a shout but a steady, unshakable flame. He is an actor whose restraint turns simple scenes into profound confessions, whose on-screen presence lingers in the mind the way a haunting melody clings to memory. On the other side is Yağmur Yüksel, a woman whose artistic instincts seem to arrive fully formed, her gaze, her posture, her vocal cadence all calibrated with the kind of exquisite detail that makes high drama feel grounded and honest. Together, they represent a synthesis of talent and mystery that is increasingly rare. The most pervasive and exhilarating thread of this narrative involves a geographic and professional relocation of audacious proportions. Sources speaking in careful, measured tones hint at a transcontinental move, a strategic bet on new territory. Close your eyes and imagine the ruthless momentum and siren promise of Los Angeles, the city of dreams where stars are either forged or forgotten. Or, perhaps, consider a split base. A life divided between the historic, craft-focused streets of Europe and the global muscle of the United States. Let us trace the trajectory of Barış Baktaş. His career has been a steady ascent, a climb from early roles into layered, complex characters that seem to breathe and expand as you watch them. There is a quiet inevitability to the idea of him expanding into international projects. Visualize him, if you will, anchoring a taut, atmospheric European drama. Something drenched in noir aesthetics, where his ability to convey volume through silence would be his greatest weapon. Or imagine him leading a prestige streaming series, a show that builds a world out of high stakes and deep character psychology. This would not be a reckless leap into the void, it would be an evolution, a recalibration of his influence from a national treasure to a global ambassador for Turkish artistry. And what of Yağmur? Her artistic compass has always pointed beyond borders, not in a flashy, seek-the-limelight way, but with profound intent. She carries a cinematic elegance that translates effortlessly across languages, the kind of performer who can command the lens without ever crowding it. Picture her in a psychological narrative mapped between the rain-slicked boulevards of Paris and the pulsing, historic sprawl of Istanbul. Envision her in an espionage thriller, threading her way through Rome's ancient corridors or Manhattan's steel grids. Or place her at the center of a high-fashion drama where her wardrobe is not mere decoration, but a grammar of power. Any of these paths would require a courage far greater than staying in the comfort of local fame, yet they feel entirely aligned with her aesthetic truth. A question for the news around family: we must pause to consider the gravity of such a move. If Barış and Yağmur were to leave the local industry for Hollywood or Europe, do you believe it would be a loss for Turkish television, or a victory for Turkish representation globally? We want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below. And remember, if you want to support our in-depth analysis of these potential futures, hitting the join button is the best way to keep our lights on and our scripts long. There is another thread, equally compelling and perhaps even more electrifying for the devoted fanbase, which suggests coordination rather than distance. The rumors speak of a shared project, a film, a miniseries, a sharp, auteur-led piece where the personal and the professional fuse. This would not be a cheap publicity stunt designed to sell magazines, it would be an extension of their truth, a fusion of their artistic souls. The mere thought generates a palpable electricity. Imagine Barış and Yağmur sharing frames again, trading lines, letting the pregnant pauses between them do the heavy lifting. We could be looking at a romance that refuses all clichés, reaching instead for a raw, unvarnished honesty. Or perhaps a suspense story that tests love in a crucible where danger is not a prop but a pressure cooker. Could it be a generational narrative that moves fluidly between timelines? Or a genre-bending work that blends languages as easily as it blends moods? Their private harmony, usually so guarded, could become a new language for public art. This is the fantasy that many fans hold closest to their hearts, to see the profound resonance between them captured in a piece of crafted fiction, leaving behind a work that feels like a time capsule and a statement all at once. It would be a courageous act to invite the world to witness their chemistry not as gossip, but as high art. Beneath the roar of career speculation, there is a lower frequency whisper, one that doesn't shout but resonates with a deep, emotional thrum. This is the theory of a private milestone. An engagement formally sealed away from prying eyes. A wedding quietly planned in a secluded haven. The intention to build a family. These choices are not mere footnotes in a celebrity biography, they are epicenter moments. They change timeframes. They reorder priorities. They create a new logic around work, rest, and risk. For artists working at the level of Barış and Yağmur, that kind of domestic stability doesn't shrink ambition, it refines it. When the heart is grounded, the courage to take artistic risks tends to expand. The roles get more deliberate, chosen not for visibility but for meaning. The production decisions grow thoughtful. It is no surprise, then, that the internet has transformed into a laboratory of clues. Fans are analyzing a hand lingering a second too long at the end of a private screening. They are zooming in on a sparkle caught by a fan camera until it solidifies into a theory. They are deconstructing airport sightings where the body language tells a story of unity that no caption can fully capture. If the path they choose leads toward vows or parenthood, we should expect a shift in their work. A move toward projects that respect the new borders between the chaotic set and the sanctuary of home. And so we reach the phrase that keeps echoing in every conversation: everything will change. As a headline, it is dramatic. As an analysis, it is pragmatic. If Barış and Yağmur move west, it shifts the gravitational pull of the local industry. We would see fewer marathon shoots at home and more long-haul commitments on global stages. If Yağmur travels a parallel path or stands beside him in a coordinated thrust, the impact multiplies. A joint project of international scale would not just create noise, it could become a precedent. It could nudge open doors between Turkish talent and international engines, creating a corridor that benefits every actor and writer who follows in their wake. The ripple spreads across the entire ecosystem. Their decisive tilt toward global platforms might spur new co-productions, a cross-pollination of crews and writers, and the creation of more elastic storytelling formats. At the same time, their partial absence at home would be felt deeply. That gap creates challenges and opportunities. Authors and producers would have to invent new strategies, launch new names, and stretch to fill the space left by two titans. Will the ecosystem rise together in response to their ambition, or will it first stagger under the weight of the shift? Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of this entire saga is how Barış Baktaş and Yağmur Yüksel are choreographing the narrative. They are not being carried by the current of rumor, they are setting the tempo. There are no frantic denials issued through publicists. There are no impulsive, emotional reveals on Instagram. They are letting the echo build. They are holding their own center, honoring this transitional moment with a discipline that reads as pure intention. It suggests a blueprint rather than a sprint. It speaks of a tomorrow that is aligned with who they are now, not who they were yesterday. They are not letting the chatter write their myth, they are writing it themselves, in a script no one has seen but everyone feels. In their hands, silence becomes a story, and rumor becomes folklore. Whatever the final reveal may be, rest assured that News Around will be there, tracking each step of this magnificent journey. If a shared set is confirmed, expect us to bring you the origin tale, the behind-the-scenes texture, and the first images as they surface. If the leap becomes geographic, a one-way ticket, a new office, an agent's handshake in a city of palm trees, we will follow the casting grids, the room meetings, and the festival whispers. And if what glitters is not a marquee but a ring, or a date underlined twice in a private calendar, we will guide you through it with the utmost respect, celebrating the joy without intruding on the sanctity of the moment. Think of the resonance this has already created. Two people who speak softly have made the world listen loudly. Uncertainty has transformed into plot, and that plot has fed the collective imagination. That is the magic of entertainment when it intersects with life. A waltz of possibilities where audiences see pieces of themselves reflected in someone else's daring. Thank you for journeying with us through the rumors and the possibilities. This is a story that is only just beginning. Before you go, a final request. If you enjoyed this deep, literary exploration of the Barış and Yağmur phenomenon, please like this video and ensure you are subscribed. To become a vital part of our storytelling engine, please consider clicking the join button. Your support allows us to keep the mystery alive. What is your prediction? Hollywood, a wedding, or a masterpiece film? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon. This is News Around.